Maple TA Exam Review, Unit 3, question number 8. Identify the type of system of equations and solve the system of equations if possible. I can see from down here that it's actually not looking for something super specific, so I'm not going to do an elimination or anything in that case. I'm just going to look at these in slope-intercept form. So here I've written the equations, and I'm just going to solve these for slope-intercept form and just kind of compare them. Because I don't see that it's actually giving me an input and output or an x and y value. So here I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. Minus 7x. On the right or the left-hand side, 7x minus 7x cancels out. So I'm just left with negative 2y. And that equals, keeping it in slope-intercept form, I'm going to put the 7x first. Negative 7x, and the 1 is positive, so it's plus 1. Now I need to get rid of that negative 2, and to do that I'm going to divide every single term by negative 2. Divide by negative 2, and divide by negative 2, which can simplify this out to be, I'm going to paste that back in. So we have negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, so I'm left with y. And negative 7x divided by negative 2 makes it a positive 7 halves x. And positive 1 divided by negative 2 gives me a negative 1 half. Okay, so now we know that I have a line going through the y-intercept at negative 1 half with a slope of positive 7 halves. So now I'm going to work on this one down here, again solving for y. To do that I'm going to subtract 28x from both sides so that the y is left on the right hand side. 28x. And then I have positive 28x minus 28x is 0, so I'm left with negative 8y equals, and making this in slope-intercept form, negative 28x, and the 7 is positive, so we're going to put plus 7, and then we need to continue solving this for y. Control paste. Oops. To do that, I need to divide every single term by this negative 8. So I have divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8, and divide by negative 8. Okay, so negative 8 divided by negative 8 is positive 1, so I'm left with y equals, negative 28 divided by negative 8 gives me positive 28 over 8, and we'll simplify that in just a moment. And then I have, and the x is still there. Positive 7 divided by negative 8 gives me negative 7 eighths. And we can simplify that fraction. Let's see. We can divide both of those by 4, and that gives me 7 halves. Pardon me. Y equals 28 divided by 4 is positive 7. 8 divided by 4 is positive 2x. And then negative 7 eighths is simplified as far as it'll go. And now I can look at these two equations here and here. The reason that, do you see this? That says that they have the exact same slope. However, they are crossing the y-intercept at two separate places, negative 1 half and negative 7 eighths. So half and almost 1. So these two are going to be parallel lines running, if we were to look at it here, it's going to go through this point and this point, but they'll both be positive 7, run 2. They'll both have a very steep slope here, but they will never intersect. So I'm going to come over here. A dependent system. Dependent means that they are they end up with the same equation and they intersect at every single point along the line. And this says there is really only one line, so any infinite number of points. Okay, so they did define dependent correctly, but these are not the same equation, so it's not dependent. Inconsistent means that they are parallel, so that they will never intersect. There will never be any solution. So let's read what it says. There is really only one line. Oh, same definition, but they use the definition for dependent system. So this is not correct, even though it is an inconsistent system. The next one says an independent system, and the lines will cross in only one place and there's only one solution. So this is the correct definition for independent, but it's not. These are not going to intersect. A dependent system, the parallel lines will never cross, so there is no solution. This is the correct definition, but wrong system. Dependent, pardon me, dependent means that they're the same equation and they'll intersect at every point. So I'm hoping this last one, inconsistent, means that they are parallel and they will never cross and have no solution. That's our answer.